So as of late 2022 and early 2023, the Bose Smart Soundbar 600 is currently my favorite mid-range soundbar to recommend because it gets plenty loud, it has a decent amount of bass all on its own, it has very impressive instrument separation, and thanks to its upward-firing speakers, it has true Dolby Atmos support. And I also really like and recommend the Bose Smart Soundbar 900. Now for me, the 900 is a little much, but if you have a larger living room, then the 900 is a great pickup. Now, even though both of these soundbars already have a decent amount of bass all on their own, and you're going to be able to feel what's happening on the screen, adding an external subwoofer to either of these two soundbars is going to add to your immersiveness when you're watching a movie with these soundbars, and it's also going to complement their already very impressive instrument separation. But whether you have the Bose Smart Soundbar 600 or 900, one of the questions that you might be asking yourself is, should I go all out and get the Bose Bass Module 700, or should I go with the smaller Bose Bass Module 500? Now, definitely one of the first things that you're going to want to take into consideration is just price. The Bose Bass Module 500 has a retail price of $500, which is almost as much as the Bose Smart Soundbar 600, and the Bose Bass Module 700 has a retail price of $850, almost as much as the Bose Smart Soundbar 900. Now, whether you're using the Bose Smart Soundbar 600 or 900, you're going to be able to use either of these two bass modules wirelessly, as in there's going to be no wire going from the soundbar to the bass module. So you're not going to have to hide any cables underneath the carpet. The only thing that you're going to have to worry about is just plugging either of these two bass modules into power. And thankfully, both of these bass modules plug in via a universal AC port, and thankfully, neither of these two bass modules have an external power brick that you have to worry about. So placing either of these two bass modules is super easy. And when it comes to placement, here's a pro tip. If you want to get the most bass out of either of these two bass modules, you either want to place them up against a wall or in a corner, or if you want to better control your bass, then you're going to want to put these bass modules in the center of your room. But if for some reason you want to use these bass modules with a wired connection with either of your Bose soundbars or any other soundbar for that matter, you can always just use them with a wired connection. Now, whether you're using the Bose Smart Soundbar 600 or 900, you can always have a total of two bass modules connected to your soundbar and have them work together, which is really going to help with your overall immersiveness when you're watching a movie in your home theater setup. The only thing to keep in mind is that you can only have two of the same bass modules working together. Unfortunately, you cannot mix and match bass modules, so you cannot have a Bose Bass Module 700 working together with a Bose Bass Module 500. But now let's talk about the performance of these bass modules. Now we're going to be jumping into the sound test. Now in this sound test, we're going to be using the Bose Smart Soundbar 600, and it's going to be playing at 75% volume, and it's going to be running my preferred EQ settings. The center channel is set to 30, the high channel is set to 40, the bass is set to 50, and the treble is set to 0. Now we're going to be using the soundbar by itself just so that you can get a bass line. Then we're also going to be using the soundbar plus the bass modules. However, these bass modules are going to be running with their bass set to 50 as well.
Let's go to someone traveled through here recently. Care package coming in. Hostile spotted. Putting an eye in the sky. Yeah, 3 squads here. Making the I broke an enemy shield. Reloading. Recharging shields. Getting threat.
Every day's a new day. Live it like your last day. It's okay to feel great. Yeah. You're all jumping on a new wave. I'm just back without stay. Stuck up in my old ways. So hard to unlearn habits we've got addicted to. I'm trying to change my life, but someone she's here to say thank you. Please help me. Please go easy on me. I can't believe it's so hard for me to see that I deserve it. Deserve to feel happy now. So please go easy. Please go easy on me. Go easy on me. Go easy on me. Easy on me. Don't give me a hard time, just let me live my life in peace. My life in peace. Been broken a long time, don't remember the highlights of me. Highlights of me. Oh, please help me. Please go easy on me. I can't believe it's so hard for me to see that I deserve this. Deserve to feel happy now. So please go easy. Please go easy. So hard to unlearn habits we got addicted to. I'm trying to change my life, but someone she's here to say thank you. Please help me. Please go easy. Please go easy. Please go easy. Go easy on me. So go easy.
So like I've mentioned in past videos where I feature the Bose Smart Soundbar 600, I feel the 600 has a decent amount of bass all on its own. You're going to be able to feel what's happening on the screen. It has an adequate amount of bass for a medium-sized living room, and it does all of this while being in a very compact package. However, I do feel that adding more bass to the 600 is really going to complement its already very impressive instrument separation, and the same thing goes for the 900 as well. And that's where these bass modules comes in. However, one very important thing that I do have to point out about both of these bass modules is, in general, Bose does lean towards a more neutral or slightly vocals focused EQ. So even if you were to connect these bass modules to your soundbar, with their stock EQs, they're still going to sound very tamed. And if you were to go into your soundbar's EQ setting, and if you were to increase the bass on the soundbar, then the subwoofer itself will also increase its bass, but it will only increase its bass accordingly to help keep that neutral sound signature, if that makes any sense. You're not going to get that thunderous bass that you're looking for. For that, you're going to have to go back into your EQ settings, and you're going to want to raise the bass on the subwoofer itself. And when you go in and you raise the bass on the subwoofer itself, that's when you start to get that thunderous and wall-shaking bass that you expect from your subwoofer. And that's why in the sound test we were using these bass modules with their bass set to 50. Otherwise, it would have been much harder to hear a difference between the Bose bass module 500 and 700. Now, obviously, both of these bass modules are going to provide thunderous bass, and you're going to be able to much easier feel what's happening on the screen. But obviously, the much larger Bose bass module 700 is going to put out more bass than the Bose bass module 500. Having the bass on the 500 set to 100 is like having the bass on the 700 set to 30. With the 700, it's going to have no problem completely filling a large living room or fully furnished basement with bass, and obviously it's going to shake the walls in your house much more than the 500. Whereas with the 500, I feel that is better suited either for a medium-sized living room or bedroom. Because if you have a larger living room, then the 500 is going to feel a little soft, especially if you have a larger TV. But also, the 500 is just better suited for a medium-sized living room or your bedroom just because of its sheer size. The 500 has a height of 9.5 inches and it has a base of 10 by 10 inches. And it only weighs in at 11 pounds. Whereas with the 700, it has a height of almost 13 inches and it has a base of almost 12 by 12 inches. And it weighs in at 30 pounds. So the 500 is just going to be much easier to place and hide than the 700. And the only aesthetic difference between these two base modules that's worth mentioning besides size is just that the 700 does have a glass top on it that makes it look more premium and is going to match your 900 and its glass top. But besides that, both of these soundbars have a mostly plastic body and they both do a really good job of not reflecting any light, and they're both very inconspicuous. And in general, both of these base modules are relatively small, but the 500 is just noticeably smaller than the 700. But with all that being said, if you're looking to add some bass to either your Bose Smart Soundbar 600 or 900, then Bose's bass modules are very simple solutions that just work. Now personally, I feel that the Bose bass module 500 is going to be able to adequately fill a medium-sized living room or bedroom with bass. However, if you want more bass or if you just have a larger living room, then you might want to spring for the 700. Now, regardless, with either of these two bass modules, if you want to get the most out of them, you either got to place them up against a wall or in a corner, and you have to go into their app and you have to directly raise the bass on these subwoofers. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.